Thanks, Khalid, for that.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
That's kind of different than other Khalid stuff, is it not?
I feel like
Grown up, eh?
the more mainstream you get, the higher your singing voice gets. I was listening to the new Ed Sheeran. Voice is really high in that album.
Hey, not a big Ed Sheeran guy. Is it good?
It's I didn't listen to the whole thing. I listened to some of it. It was all right. It's like poppy,
Ed Sheeran is pop.
classic Ed. What's up, everybody? It's your step bros, Ricker and Bond. We're back for another fun-filled episode. You waited all week for us. We waited all week for you. Um, and now we are here to present ourselves to each other. Just full transparency, full nakedness, no shame, because that's the Ricker and Bond way.
Ricker and Bonway, thanks for joining everybody. If you're listening to it, you already know how to get a podcast. So subscribe wherever you are. If you don't know where to get it somehow, and you're listening to this via like your neighbor, you just hear you hear your apartment complex next door just banging Ricker and Bond every Monday. Go over to rickerandbond.com, 5 stars, subscribe, listen every week. Hop over to the Discord. If you go gonna need if you could okay. So right now on the Instagram the link is to rickerandbond.com. I need to make a tiny URL. But if you go over to the Instagram and DM us, be like, hey, I want to get in this Discord because live recordings, a lot of wholesome conversations. Shout out my guy Homegrown Wealth. Shout out my guy TLA. Everybody's
Super
popping in
wholesome.
ideas over here. Stargazing has an idea that we'll bring up, and then Homegrown Wealth wants a little NFT basic we can run through.
We just
But oh,
started the new Bible study channel on the Discord. Really great value and input and conversation being put on over there. So if you want to join that, just hop on over to hashtag Bible study on the Ricker and Bond Discord. Tonight we're discussing the book of Luke, so you don't want to miss it.
only New Testament.
Only
None
New
of that
Testament.
Jew stuff.
Nah. That's too. It's too. Well, PG-13, the Old Testament. We don't touch
Heck
that
yeah,
stuff.
man. Ricker and Bond on Instagram, Ricker and Bond on TikTok. Got a little traction on one TikTok that was the Rolling Stone video. Had a little traction.
Did I see that one?
Uh, it's it was a screen sharing one, so the so the quality was just poo poo, but it was the best performing TikTok in a while.
What
Uh,
if
just because we were going hard.
what if Instagram did something like super just like Savage?
Savat? Oh, okay.
Uh, and this would probably hurt them hard in the short term.
Okay.
But what if they like made it so you couldn't repost TikToks on Reels?
Yeah. I mean,
They're
that
like,
would.
you just gotta post Reels.
Uh,
Like you
uh,
can't upload at all.
I don't know how many people are seeing the reel tag on or the TikTok tag on reel and be like, "Oh, I gotta go to TikTok." I'm sure it's not like best business practice, but it doesn't really like.
Yeah, because I was like, you know what? I don't. I was almost proud of myself because I was like, I don't use TikTok that much.
Yeah.
But then I'm scrolling through Reels and I'm like, yes, I am. All these are just TikToks
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
Reels.
I mean,
So
it kind of at some point, I do I do think there's like a certain tipping point where Instagram's like, okay, this is like too much. We're giving like mind share away, and these kids are just thinking about TikToks. But if everybody's making TikToks and they're just posting them on our platform, kind of short term, like you said, it's kind of like, I mean, they're using our platform, they're coming here.
yeah, they're still like seeing our ads
Yeah.
on another platform's talk content. So
I've never seen a Instagram reel with a TikTok tag and be like, oh, I gotta go, I gotta go check this out on TikTok.
nah,
What am I doing over here?
nah. But whenever I see a really good reel, just really funny,
Yeah,
I know it's a TikTok
yeah.
post.
See, that's where the long term comes in of like, okay, now we're just giving them clout and mind share
That was smart at TikTok to post to make their like icon on the thing when you export.
on the dimensions. But oh yeah, just in general.
Yeah, especially in the beginning when everyone was just sharing that, but no one knew what TikTok was.
Also makes it really easy to share it. Hold that
Yeah,
boy down, click save, share that joint. You know,
yeah.
good easy to use.
Yeah, you
Also,
know.
super easy to train that app, man. If I wanted to completely pivot what I saw on that app, and it took me about just a couple like 10 minutes of clicking not interested, going through a tag, and then like completely shifting what I see. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. That algorithm is pretty nuts.
Speaking of Meta, dude, you ever heard of these people?
Meta, the company,
Meta, Meta the company.
it now says Instagram from Meta,
I
joined
know, I saw
Instagram.
that. How'd that make you feel?
I was like, damn, that's why do I feel better about this? It's the same thing.
They got you, dude. They successfully
Fuckers.
rebranded to the mid 20s.
Now I have a Facebook app on my phone and I see the icon. I'm like, ugh, they still make this thing? Gross. Who
Yeah,
uses
it's
this
so
phone
funny.
book app?
It's so funny that the phone book app, LOL. It's so funny to see people's different reactions to Facebook's brands.
Oh God, Facebook
Mid
is
mid
just
20-year-olds see Facebook and just have a completely different emotion than now they see Instagram and Meta.
fuck. Good
So
job, Mark.
so
Did you
fun.
see that? I know you're gonna say something, but sorry, real quick about Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
You see that fucking Mark Zuckerberg Gary V interview?
Not the whole thing, but I that kind of caught me by surprise a little bit.
I couldn't even watch it because Gary V kept interrupting Mark Zuckerberg.
It didn't seem very flowy.
Yeah, I was like, yo, you're gonna let the guy talk?
Bro,
Like,
Zuckerberg sounded like he was still on trial with like the government in that.
kind of
I
seemed like
only
he was
saw a
trying to
couple
watch
clips.
what he said.
Sure, but like Gary h- was talking, and he's just kind of talking like he was in like in his interviews, and it's kind of colloquial, still very Gary V-ish. But but then Zuckerberg's like not really having a conversation. It's kind of I mean it is. I guess you're in a big brand meta rebrand right now, and you gotta say things how you say them. Can't be super. I mean, but like if Musk was on there, Musk will be more conversational. It's
You
just
think so?
Zuckerberg. Yeah. I mean,
I think Mark Zuckerberg was.
I didn't. I've only seen like seconds of it too.
I thought he was like more natural than he usually is, and
Okay.
like giving information. But like he couldn't really say like every time he was about to say something interesting,
Yeah.
Gary would like talk over him with like the wrong answer.
I did see one thing of that where he was saying Gary answered everybody would own it, but Zuckerberg was saying everybody could do something else with it, and I found that funny. It's like, bro, at some point you got to be like talk about empathy, an empathetic interviewer, and be a good listener. He needs his listening lion NFT. Gary does.
Yeah, that was. I don't know. I can't even watch it. Everyone in the comments too was like, "Yo, this was just Gary V trying to teach Mark about the metaverse."
I mean, he low key might know more. I don't know how much Zuckerberg knows. I mean,
Well,
I don't know.
nobody knows a lot, but I feel like in this scenario, Mark might know a little more.
He might be doing a little R&D on the virtual reality.
Yeah,
Okay. Speaking of Microsoft, the biggest boys in the stock market, dude. Everybody's favorite stock to go long and get money from, allegedly, is partnering with Meta, the company formerly known as Facebook, to integrate Microsoft Teams into Zuckerberg's workplace platform. I don't know what Meta Workplace is. It's Facebook Workplace or Workplace by Meta. It's now being rebranded. Will integrate with Microsoft Teams to live stream video into workplace groups.
wow, what a strategic partnership. One less thing that Meta has to do is make a video chat service that works.
There's nothing more Facebook to do than use other companies to make your product.
Like they don't need to make their own. Like they can just bring over Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, all that shit. It's already ready to go.
I've never heard of Workplace by
I think
Meta.
Workplace is that the Horizon Workrooms, the thing the guy was talking about,
Um,
where everyone's like little avatar at a table.
from what I'm looking at, no. It's still 2D zoomish, but I would venture to assume that they'll have a virtual workplace if it's by Meta. and then so they integrated Teams. So the Teams is video from Microsoft. I never actually used Teams.
I don't know what Teams is. I thought Teams was just like Google Drive stuff.
Could be, but they Microsoft went hard with that for a minute, and they someone was talking about Microsoft's initial like moat of the software they implanted on PCs and how like if Facebook did that right now and like people think of Microsoft kind of as open source, which I don't know if I agree with that. But the brand that Microsoft or the move that Microsoft did earlier in the century, if Facebook did that now, everybody would be up in arms about like software being implanted already. Facebook's just got a brand problem.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Jeff Tepper, head of Microsoft 365 collaboration, says one thing I've learned there's not going to be a one and only communications tool on the planet. People are going to choose a number of tools, so I think it's on us as responsible vendors to make sure they can integrate and interoperate. Man, I was having a conversation with somebody about companies working with each other as a evolution of Web3 as the internet goes on,
Uh-huh.
and the friction of do you still have companies holding on secrets and getting super competitive, or do you get an uber competitiveness via collaboration? Very open source, very this is what we're doing, and just no secrets.
Uber competitiveness via collaboration.
Where everything's open and everything's collaborative, but everybody knows what everybody's doing, so they have to make a better product or market it better rather than competition via siloing information and making everything secret.
I don't know.
You think companies will move towards collaboration or stay secret?
Well, the biggest company in the world has thrived on being super secret and not working with other companies.
True.
So there's an argument for that. But I would like to see like companies be more like partnered and open and stuff. But like whatever works, works. Apple will undoubtedly continue to do what they're doing.
But at some point, will something not work? Everything if it works, it works until it works until it doesn't work.
Yeah, well, like in the
It changes.
way that well, these companies like if they make more money from being like secretive, I'm sure they're gonna do that until they make more money from being not secretive. So like
Yeah,
if there's like a company that is like super open and I don't know, they make a lot of money like selling digital clothes or whatever, and for some reason they make more money than Apple.
yeah,
I say that and I laugh. Then I'm sure Apple will be like, okay, let's rethink this.
yeah.
But I don't know. That's like it's so far like in the future, it's hard to tell. Like I can't
But I
even
mean,
comprehend.
you see Microsoft and Facebook doing a little interoperability. This Microsoft head of oh, it is head of Microsoft 365 collaboration, Mr. Tepper Jeff.
I might be wrong, but I don't think this is their first time doing this.
Microsoft?
Something like this, Microsoft and
Yeah.
Facebook.
Oh, and Facebook. Um, I also tend to have the assumption that Microsoft has worked with other softwares.
Microsoft, yeah, Microsoft was like, because that's kind of their whole thing. Was Bill Gates was like, I want Windows on everything from the
Yeah.
beginning,
And that kind of fits in the mold of like Android open
yeah.
source stuff.
And that's also Mark's whole
Pivot.
Mark's whole get up like everything needs to work with everything because then what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
that's
yeah,
what like that's the hot word of like Web3ness right now is interoperability. And you had V and Zuckerberg talking about I like how Gary put it. He was saying he put it really cool too. He was talking about as kids are on games. And really a lot of this stuff is just kind of an evolution of like gaming. Like I do kind of struggle with a little bit of right now, especially metaverse is kind of just like an extension, like I said, of gaming and workplace remotely. I think the bigger vision is the open sourceness of companies and innovation. Either way, um, Gary Vee was saying like as kids are on games, they're on Roblox. but they want to level up to like Fortnite as they grow older. But all that money they
Mm.
spent on Roblox is going to be stuck in Roblox. So you transfer
Oh, I
that
see.
money with some coins or some crypto over to Fortnite. Very cool. So you're going from world to world, and that's kind of the interoperability of the games, and that's what interoperability of Web3 and apps and stuff would be.
I see. See, that's a better description because this whole time I was thinking like, okay, so what are you playing Fortnite and then you have that character and you jump into Grand Theft Auto?
That too, but probably more so currency wise.
Okay, so like if you're rich in Fortnite, you're rich in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. And like even if you go like to the tech of like Cardano and stuff, and like when they say interoperability, they want everybody to be able to move through fiat and like traditional finance and all of these chains, and they want to be that bridge that can be that swap easily, I believe, from his whiteboard, Mr. Hoskinson.
Damn.
Interoperability, folks.